Evelyn to Philip, February 17th, 1943. Darling Angel, I sent a money order to the Record today for an additional 3-month subscription, which means you'll receive the paper up to May 20th. Your Sunday letter arrived this morning, and I'll attempt to answer all your questions. And they're not silly at all. After all, you are only human, and I can't blame you in the least for asking them, honey. 1, yes, she moves her arms and legs simultaneously when she fusses up, usually after her feeding. 2, she says agoo, boo, and other such baby expressions and sounds. 3, yes, she knows her. Page 2, mommy. She stares intently at me. Wish she knew her daddy. 4, I don't know what she's thinking when she smiles. 5, no, she doesn't have any out-of-the-way habits. 6, she has more hair, as I've told you in previous letters. 7, her disposition is usually good. 8, yes, I think her fingers will be long enough for the piano. 9, I'm definitely not spoiling her. 10, no, she doesn't always sleep face down, only at times. 11, she usually takes most of her formula, which is, page 3, 6.5 ounces. 12, I think she still loves her bath, but I haven't bathed her for 8 days now due to the vaccination. 13, I think she'd like a little brother, about 5 years from now. Mom is fine, her spirits are high, and Fleischer keeps her optimistic, to say the least. She expects the war to end any day now. All foods are double in price, but most of them are plentiful. I think there will be plenty of food when rationing begins, which is next week. Page 4. The radio is okay. I'm doing the housework, and so is Mom. The house is not generally orderly. It's very difficult to keep it orderly and clean with so many people living in it. I don't read the Record because I don't have the time. I usually read the Sunday paper thoroughly. I depend on the radio for my news. I agree with you. Adele Barra is a very lovely name for a very lovely girl. Your Monday letter arrived in the second mail, as did Mom's. The weather was nice, hence the second delivery of mail. That, too, was, page 5, interesting and most welcome. Last night, Harry and Goldie and I went to the Earl, and the show was excellent. Dennis Morgan, Teddy Powell, and his band. Jerry Lester, who had everyone in stitches, and Sonny Rise, a tap dancer. The picture, 3 Hearts for Julia, with Ann Sothern and Melvin Douglas, is one for you to see. Ann Sothern is a violinist, and there is a symphonic orchestra, Felix Bressert conducting, of 75 women who are excellent. The evening was almost spoiled for me. There was an empty seat beside me. Page 6, all evening, and every time I looked at it, the tears welled into my eyes. How I missed you, precious. Ruth minded the baby. The little angel slept through the night like a top. I think Harry and Goldie are planning to take me to see a musical comedy, Ziegfeld Follies, with Milton Berle, Ilona Massey, and Arthur Treacher. Mom and I have an appointment with the Smart Form Company tomorrow at 3. My mom will take care of Adele. I'm going to get that visceroptosis belt the doctor ordered for page 7, me. I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. Adele took her cereal beautifully today, just like the little lady she is. I had her out this afternoon and stopped in to see Anne. Her baby actually sits up and will be 3 months tomorrow. Adele is a much prettier baby, and Aunt can't get over her. She says Adele looks exactly like Phil. Vito is quite a nice baby. He's a little devil and as active as can be. He moves his arms and hands in the manner of a prize fighter. Page 8 does. He looks like he's going to sock somebody. Anne's place is fixed up beautifully. You ought to see it. And the baby. Myra's brother, North Carolina, was in a Jeep accident, was in the operating room all night, and the Army sent a telegram that he's critically ill. The family is upset. And how? Myra's sister and his girl went there immediately. More tomorrow, sweetness. I love you, darling, and wish I were your pillow. Phil, I long for you with the fervor that grows more strongly with the passing of every minute. God bless you and send you back soon. Your Evie. P.S. Since the boys bring the mail, I'll address it as usual. P.P.S. Don't be sorry you wrote such a frank letter about the Valentine. To tell you the truth, sweet, I really didn't expect one. Surprised? You see, I know you very well. The rhyme's more than made up for any Valentine. Philip to Evelyn, Wednesday, February 17th, 7:20 p.m. Sweet Chippy, received your lengthy Sunday letter, and it was as sweet as it was long. I liked especially a few phrases that tickled my funny bone. 1, Dottie moved into her mother's crib, carriage, and bassinet. Very good indeed. 2, we'll have a picnic when you get home. I'll eat you and you'll eat Adele. Very nice too, but utterly impossible if you stop to think about it. However, I can suggest a way out of the dilemma. You eat Adele and I'll eat the two of you. Yum, yum. One doesn't have to be a cannibal to relish such a dish. I really enjoyed your letter to the hilt and have read it 3 times already, and tomorrow's another day. You want to know if I have an ulterior motive, to which I can truthfully say, no, I wasn't so sick that I couldn't have continued with my duties, but I reported at sick call because I thought it was high time I were finding out what caused my distress after eating. Page 2, especially since the pressure had been getting worse. Of course, I'll try my darndest to get a pass once I get out of here, but there is no hard and fast rule that says that I must get one. So I wouldn't leave myself open to disappointment if I were you, honey, by hoping too confidently that I will get home. In any case, thanks for the tip about the visitor. I'll certainly keep it in mind. Maybe if I am fortunate enough to get home, I'll take steps to see that you are not bothered with that particular visitor for some time to come. What's the matter with him? Seriously though, Chippy, you'd better be the strong one next time, if any, 'cause I'm beset by an obsession that bodes ill to your dreams of abstention from maternity. This, if you value your ambitions, will be taken as a warning, and thank me for being fair enough to prefer it for you to act upon accordingly and in the spirit in which it is meant. In this connection, I am reminded to tell you of an article in a reputable sex book I happened across. The gist of it was, and you could have knocked me over with a feather, that there is no bar to intercourse outside the aesthetic while the woman's menstruating. As a matter of fact, it went on to point out, page 3, many women only practice sexual intercourse during their period. Others get their greatest satisfaction at this time. Wouldn't that slay you, Chippy? It did me. I read it over a few times to make sure my eyes were seeing right. It's rather deflating to my ego, too, in a sense. Here, all the time, I thought we were the champs when it came to uninterrupted love-making. And now I find there are folks who don't even stop for that. I'm very curious as to your reaction to all this, honey. Will you enlighten me? There isn't much to report from the hospital front, baby, except that Sergeant Belinsky is in the same ward since yesterday. We had a run-in this morning when he took me for a sucker and ordered me to mop the floor in his place. Luckily, I know from way back that rank cuts no ice whatever in hospital, and made it very clear to the sergeant that I didn't care to do his work for him, and wouldn't. Of course, he couldn't do a thing about it, although he got plenty hot under the collar. He only succeeded in showing himself up to the rest of the fellows. Serves him, page 4, right for trying to take advantage of what he took for a sucker. This is the second time I've bested him, if you recall, and I suspect he has it in for me. That doesn't worry me either, because if he knows what's good for him, he'll leave me strictly alone. If he persists in pestering me, I know just how to go about having him busted right down to private. For his sake, he's a tech sergeant, which is 2 ranks above sergeant. I hope he knows I know how to take care of myself. I think he gained a little respect, if not liking, for me after this morning's incident, because he asked me to play pinochle with him this afternoon, which I did, not wishing to bear a grudge. I hope that is the end of that. Otherwise, it was pretty much a routine day. I found a new Esquire and read a bit, slept a bit, etc. Oh yes, they've put me on a soft diet, whatever that is. It's close to 9 o'clock and lights out, baby, so I'll say hasta mañana, and God keep you and your sweet little daughter safe and well, for your loving husband and proud daddy, Phil. P.S. Love to all.